This is my first recorded Zoom. I've never done this before.
What? First time for everything.
I mean, usually I rely on other people. I'm not the most technologically gifted, but it's early in the morning on a weekend, so no one else is really up. So I had to come through. But anyways, it's good
Yeah.
to talk to you.
Yeah, that makes two of us though. I've never recorded a Zoom either.
We'll see if this works. This might just be a conversation for the two of us. I did a test, so hopefully it works. But, I wanted to dig right in because, you've been on a hot streak and I want people to learn from it. It's summertime. You're not supposed to be on a hot streak. You're not supposed to be trading that much. What's going on?
Yeah, so first of all, I think the last 10 days have been green for me, somewhere around 10 days, and it's roughly like 300 like $350,000 in profits or so, 320 or something like that.
30K a day
And
keeps
I
the real job away.
exactly. And I haven't had this type of July ever, like ever, ever, ever. Like July's always been super, super slow, and June as well. Like it's been pretty slow. So for me, it's just been about capitalizing on long opportunities and not being focused on shorting because I feel like in the summer months, my previous years, what I would do would be, okay, I'm not going to trade. Let me just wait for a good short setup to come around. And then I would trade that too aggressive and take a big loss, and then it would just mess up my entire month. So it's been a whole different mindset, if that makes sense.
Of course, it makes sense. I've been warning about short selling since you were in your diapers. Maybe the past 2 years. Short selling, both of us have made millions shorting. Let's throw that out there. It's not like shorting has never been profitable, but right now, I think there's too many shorts. The market is hitting new highs. And frankly, as you've experienced, it's stressful. It impacts your long trading, it impacts your mindset. And I think it's just very dangerous, kind of like smoking.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree 100%. And I think too, with the market continuing to hit new all-time highs, with NVIDIA continuing to hit new all-time highs, with Tesla breaking out 20% this week, with the SPY having three huge green days the last 3 or 4 days, it's with even Bitcoin being up, 100 or 200% over the last couple of years, like it's just frankly the edge is on the long side here. And when stocks go down, when stocks that are extended go down, there's lots of dip buyers, there's lots of momentum buyers, there's lots of follow through on the breakouts. So the the edge is on the long side, and it really hasn't been like that with the market being a little bit shifty in 2022, with the market crashing in 2023, with the market rebounding last election cycle where there's a lot of stuff to be excited about. We're getting a new president. I think we can say that now. We're getting a new president, and for whatever reason, the different policies that different presidents put into place creates lots of buying and a lot of stuff. People are very excited for the future, quote unquote. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on a lot of stuff. I agree wholeheartedly. And, just to point out a few trends that people aren't necessarily aware of, like they know about NVIDIA for AI. Some people think AI is dangerous, some people think it's hype, but it's also really influencing business in the fact that businesses are getting a lot more profitable. I'm sorry to the manual laborers out there and a lot of low-paying jobs that are going to be gone in a little bit. I mean, Amazon has like 1 million robots now, and frankly, Amazon's hitting new highs. Why? Because theoretically, there's going to be more and more robots. They can outperform humans. They don't need sleep. They don't take days off. Amazon once upon a time was a pariah in the business world, taking on so much debt, investing in technology, investing in their factories, and now it's really paying out. And I think this is very similar to people like you and like me, where we spent so much time and effort and frustration in the beginning of our trading career learning. And you're like, God, it's not even worth it. This is such a, like, we suck at trading, but you optimize your process and then you get better. And now, 30,000 a day per day for you in the summertime, like it's crazy. And this is like what you would have made, I don't know what a valet makes, but I'm guessing that's like, what is that, like 6 months or 9 months of what a valet makes, or a year? I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, probably 6 to 9 months, right? Nailed it right on the head there. So to make that a day, just super grateful, especially in the summer. And I'm what's been so cool about these last couple of weeks, it's I've been trading really well, and I'm still been enjoying my summer. Still went out fishing, still been going to the gym, still working on my house, still hanging out with friends. So doing all of this. And it's just that extra space in my head, right? Because when you're trading, you have your short brain, you have your long brain, you have your tracking brain, this, that, and the third. And when you remove shorting and you're not even thinking about it and you're only focusing on long, you still have a lot of room and space in the other side of your head to still enjoy your life and have a lot of other things going on.
Yeah, it's crazy, how it impacts you. Like I said, we both made millions shorting. There used to be a lot of edge in it, shorting a lot of pump and dumps, shorting a lot of promos. The pump and dumps haven't really been there. The promoters, I don't know, they're pretty much all gone. Short sellers are the new promoters because they create the best squeezes. And if you are open to it, you can ride the squeezes without the bias of short selling. I see a lot of short sellers being like, this stock doesn't deserve to go up this much. Dilution tracker says this, and they literally can't see the other side, and they're wasting these 100, 200, 500, 1,000% runners to try to get the 20, 30% dips. And, you can mistime it hugely, like, several people did on FFIE, yourself included, where it's just not worth the stress. It's not worth the risk. You and Kyle are some of the best short sellers that I know. And you both lost six figures on FFIE. And thank God you covered, early on before it went even higher. It could have been worse. So you just have to recognize that markets change. You got to do what's best for yourself in life and in any given market, and you have to be open to adapt it. It's not like I'm never going to short sell again. Right now, I just think that all of, as you said, the edge is on the long side, and it's pretty enjoyable. Like, you're finally able to see that, like, like the laptop lifestyle, or even if you trade with a computer monitor, you can still go on trips. You're going to come out, you're going to be here in this view in a little bit, and you can live a really good life. Trading doesn't have to be this toxic, frustrating, negative thing that a lot of short sellers, I think that's all they can see. They have like these blind spots.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree 100%. And I've been doing a lot of trade also just like on my phone, entering orders, looking at charts on my phone, swing trading, buying stocks in your clothes, swinging them overnight. And it's been great too for the seven-figure cycle that I'm running, and it's already been up 800% in the last couple months, which is awesome. And a lot of these trades have been overnight swings or several hour trades or a few day trades, and it's just about buying stocks that potentially can have hype, buying stocks with lots of volume, because there's a lot of retail in the market right now, frankly. And when there's a lot of retail in the market, a lot of stocks have a lot of continuation. People who I haven't seen trade for years are coming, long traders are coming back into the market, and they're making money. We're seeing also that we didn't even mention the meme stocks. We didn't mention GME, COS, AMC. All of these stocks are also coming back, and these things haven't run for 4 years. So it's a great time to be along. And the only thing that we're missing is some OTC love. So hopefully we see some of that come here into end of year. But just so many opportunities, so many, and like Tim was saying too, to brush on a little bit about what he said was, a lot of people just aren't open to try and longing. It's like shorting's like very clicky, right? It's like different groups in high school. Like you have the soccer players, you have the football
Mean Girls.
players, you have the basketball players, etc. And if you get stuck in that group, you don't ever want to make that transition into a different sport or a different friend group or whatever it is, because they kind of brainwash this mindset of these are all shitty stocks. Yes, they're shitty stocks, but this is exactly what works, and they keep going up. It doesn't matter if it's a shitty stock. Like there's edge logging these if you're familiar with the patterns, which Tim and myself teach.
And this is the thing too, the crappiest companies are actually the biggest spikers. Like, I was getting crap from the short sellers because KOSS was, a meme play, and it was spiking up a little bit, and there was no news, but I was buying it in the fives the other day, and people are like, it's already up 30%. Why are you chasing a meme play? This is irresponsible of you. And I'm like, it's a meme stock. It doesn't have to be responsible. In fact, irresponsible is good with meme stocks. And I sold it in the sixes, from the fives to the sixes. Later in the day, it hit the 18s. So even
Yeah, that
though
was a
I'm
hell of a trade.
capitalizing, you banked in from like, I think what, the eights to the nines or something, or the sevens to the nines?
Yeah, I got a few trades on KOSS. I got it from the eights to 950, and then I got it again from the tens to 13, and then I got it one more time, or I got it two more times, 11 to 16, and then 14 to 16 again. So it was just
And
buying the dips and selling the pops.
And that's what it is. Like you can just
Yeah.
ride the hype. And this is what I love about Jack's seven-figure cycles. I'll post a link to it below because, I trade very conservatively. Even though I trade volatile stocks, he trades similar stocks. He trades more aggressively with more size. He has more patience. This is why he's now made nearly double what I've made in a third of the time. You can choose what you want to do. You want to be conservative, which I think you should be in the beginning. You can later on become more aggressive, but you can learn from both of us. And in different markets and different stocks, it's good to mix it up. I know some people are like, no, I only want one thing. It's not an exact science. And I know some people that do much better trading aggressively in hot markets like this. And, one or two good trades pays for like a month or 3 months of bad trades or slowness if you're aggressive, if you really nail it. Like KOSS, I was dead on in my thesis in the fives, but I traded it like a bitch. So it's okay to trade like a bitch or a coward. It's okay to be more aggressive. I think later on, once you have the skill set, I wouldn't trade aggressively early on, but you can learn from both of us. And that's really the cool thing. This is why, I'm loving Jack's webinars, and the challenge too is giving a webinar the other day. And we have several, millionaire traders who are giving webinars, and everyone shares their lessons and what they've learned. And that can only help speed up your learning curve. Like, Jack, like when you were first beginning, you were tuning into my webinars, you're tuning into Tim Grittani webinars. What did you learn? Was there like a light bulb moment early on in your trading career? Because many people don't realize you were down, I think like $10,000 after the first year in trading.
Yeah, and I think if you look at me or Tim Grittani or Tim or whoever is a successful trader, like we all lost or made small or broke you. Like it's very hard in the beginning, guys. So if you're starting out trading right now and you're down a little bit, like expect that to happen. Like that's what's going to happen.
Market
And for me, it
tuition.
was just yeah, market tuition. And for me, it was just continuing to study, even when you're losing and losing and losing, and staying motivated, right? A lot of people have trouble staying motivated when they're taking losses. And I think that use the losses to fuel you to work harder, right? That's the key thing. And if those losses are making you be like, I hate trading, I should just do something else. Like this is so infuriating. I'm putting in, 10 hours a day just to lose money. Like that's what has to happen to understand the market. And for me, my light bulb moment was just seeing Tim, both the Tims, all three of the Tims, even Tim Lento, Mark, everyone that was in the challenge, just see them make money, right? And see them make money over time and time again. And then I go back through the trades. How did they make money? Why did they make money? You know what I mean? Just analyzing the trades in depth. And then soon enough, because you've been trading for so long and learning for so long, you start to notice things that you didn't notice before, right? And you notice more and more and more. And then the more that you trade, you get more and more knowledge. Like Tim, he's been trading now for double decades, so he can really understand a lot of market movement. Even though he's in and out fast, he understands kind of a lot what's going on in the market. And it's great to see from all successful traders what they're thinking and learn
And
from it.
that's the thing, right? Like, this is why I don't just come to places like this to show off. Like I still need motivation. Like I love donating my trading profits to charity. I love building schools with my charity, but I love traveling. Like I grew up in a small town in Connecticut, not far from where Jack was growing up. And, early on I had TV dinners. They were crap, although I liked what was it? It was like lean cuisine with the turkey and the mashed potatoes and the cranberry stuffing. It was decent, but like I wanted a better life, and I only dreamed of traveling. Now, like, look at this. Literally, this is my view. Are you freaking kidding me? This is the villa that I'm so blessed to be able to, rent every summer here. and bring students out. You need that motivation. So when you look at Jack, when you look at myself, when you look at any of the other 40 plus millionaire students now in the challenge, get inspired and see what's possible. If you're losing, it's not that the market is so bad. It's not like any conspiracy theory. It's that you just haven't necessarily found your edge. You haven't found your pattern. You haven't optimized your process yet. Just like Amazon in the beginning. What?
Yeah. Just like Amazon.
Amazon was losing. Everyone made fun of it. Like, it's crazy. Amazon's one of the most successful companies in the world because they optimize their process, shipping and everything. Like, it's still crazy how fast they can deliver stuff now, but they spent years losing, but they always had the vision. And that's what you need. You don't necessarily need to spend years or decades losing and taking on, billions in debt if you especially trade small and cut losses quickly in the beginning, but you do have to go through that learning curve and you have to survive your learning curve. So I encourage you really to be like very cowardly in the beginning, know that you don't know much, but see what those of us who are doing well are doing. Like Jack's making 30 grand a day right now. You should learn from that. Jack is being too humble about his plays. He's not just picking some good plays. He's also doing video lessons. And even, what was that winner you had the other day? OPTT? And you were doing like a chat session, right?
Yep, did a chat session. We talked about what we wanted to see from OPTT through the next few hours. So everybody was super prepared. And then basically put the buy alert out on OPTT, and it never saw that price ever again. And it went up, held, went up higher, held, went up higher, went up higher, went up. I sold it at 37, held again, went up to 62, and it just kept doubling basically. And some of those trades are really the difference maker in your trading journey. You know what I mean? Some of those, and like Tim was saying earlier, like Tim's more of trying to make money on every trade and being a little bit conservative. I'll take a 0 to 5% loss any day to hold for that 20, 30, 40, 50%, 100% gain. And if you can get a couple of those, a few of those a week, which is what I got this week, a few of those a week, I was able to just, lock in some profits this day, lock in some profits the next day, and just have one of those good trades continuing to roll, continuing to lock in profits along the way. And it was an amazing chat session, and everybody was ahead of the game on OPTT.
And that's what it's about, guys. Like, This is why we do these videos. Like, neither of us have to be here on the weekend, but we want to help you try to understand this. Obviously, the alerts are useful, but you don't really learn much by copying alerts. You have to be prepared. What is the process? So Jack was doing a live chat in case, you are in the 7-figure cycles, you have that opportunity. Again, click the link below, join in, because Jack is doing these live chats to help prepare people. And it just so happened that he had, a 6-figure win on OPTT, and he prepared everybody in the chat session. I saw it. I was giving him crap about the beard. I said that, we both were in AREB, and I actually traded that one better than him because, Jack has the beard that offends God, and AREB like tanked as a result. So, but maybe now he's into like ZAPP and OPTT. So maybe you just need like the 2 letters in the ticker to really, blossom. Whatever works. Like, I know it sounds crazy where you're like, what are you talking about? 2 letters in the ticker like it matters. Welcome to penny stocks. ZAPP, OPTT. Is there any other stock that you're watching that has two similar tickers or letters?
After we get off this Zoom call, I'm going to do a scan for it and see if I can find another one.
And this is how crazy this is. I know that sounds insane to people. You have people digging through like profit and loss and like dilution tracker. And in this crazy market, stupid is good. Stupid works. Like, OPTT, FFIE, these are little wannabe companies, but because the overall sector is surging, like ZAPP is a wannabe Tesla. I was buying ZAPP early. I made like 2 or 3 grand. Jack was buying it, I think at 197 out at 310, if I remember.
Yep. Yeah. I sold a little bit in the 240s just to lock a little bit in. And then I got out 3/4 of my position right up there when it broke over 10. Or sorry, not 10, 3. And then it was in the 5s yesterday. So it just continued to keep going up. And that's when I see that, I know it's a great, like we were saying earlier, it's a great market to be along. And
I was so happy. I held it overnight. And for me, that was aggressive because like I don't usually hold overnight, but I was like, no, I think this can squeeze again. And I was buying, ZAPP in the 230s, held it overnight. It didn't really have that great action, but I was like, you know what? This can spike. Pre-market, it spiked up to the 270s. I took it. I was like, woo, what a rush. And then it goes to the 3s, 4s, 5s. So again, when there's so much upside, you don't need to try to get all of it. You just try to take a piece of the move. And whether you want to go big, whether you want to go small, it's all about seeing this stuff in real time. Obviously, it's better to be prepared ahead of time, whether Jack is doing a chat session or a challenge webinar, or I'm doing a challenge webinar, or my watch list. Like, you have to start to see this stuff play out so you can get an idea of the volatility, how fast it is, how many people are unprepared. Like, Jack and I, neither of us are that smart or that great at math. We just see these patterns and we're like, okay, let's try to do this. And Jack, to his credit, pushes it a lot more. He's king of the valets. I don't think there's ever been a valet in the world who has made as much as you have within, like, what, a decade of being a valet. How long ago were you a valet?
Probably the last time I did valet was 20 middle of 2018.
So
So
6 years ago, he was a
6 years ago,
valet
I was parking cars.
trying to bum like $10 and $20 tips.
Oh
And,
my God, $20 tips for the best.
and now,
$40 tips are the best.
now $30,000 in a day, and he can't park for shit. We had a car here. I'm going to post a little photo. I tried to get him to park the car. I was like, oh, professional valet. We have a tough garage. We have a tough angle. He tried to park it and he dented it. $893 was the fee that the car rental charged me because Jack can't be a valet. Thank God he found his passion as a stock trader, because he would be thrown out as a valet. So sometimes you have to evolve. I'm glad that he has a trading skill. I'm sad that, his valet skills have diminished, but you can't have everything, right?
Well, give me another chance this year in Positano.
Well, now we have,
cars.
So I've learned from that, because it was a tough angle. It wasn't like an easy thing. Now we have these little electric cars that are really small and anybody can park them. Like, you have to be a moron not to be able to park them. So it's a little different, and they plug into the wall just like an iPhone. It's actually pretty cool. I wish they had a stock, but it's like, a multi-billion-dollar company already. But, long story short, guys, this is the time to push it. I know summertime, you want to back off. You want to enjoy the view, enjoy yourself. You can do that, but at least put in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day of studying. Jack has so many new videos for seven figure.
I'm about to make one right after this.
Nice.
I'm about to make a new video lesson right after this.
Click the link below. Start learning from Jack. Click the second link below to get into the challenge. We have so many archived webinars. Jack has given dozens of challenge webinars now. He's giving them every week, live trading, Q&A webinars. You just have to get in the game and you have to try to understand it. And this is what we do. We're trading almost every single day, no matter where we are in the world. We're trying to ride this. Not every 10-day period is going to be $300,000 for Jack. He was up 500,000 in a few days, a few weeks ago, and then he lost 500,000 plus, mainly through shorting. Actually, all through shorting.
All shorting. All through shorting.
Leave a comment below. I'm curious, do you guys like going long or like going short? Again, there's no wrong strategy if it works for you, but you do have to understand that even if you're winning 6, 7, 8 times out of 10 shorting these plays, because they do fade and they are fundamentally crap. All it takes is one short for you to blow up and you lose everything. Jack was talking about this on the webinar last night. HKD, and what was that weird ticker? ZJZ.
I can't even, it's literally the weirdest ticker I've ever heard in my life. It's like ZYJL, like,
but what did it do?
3 letters that are barely used.
But what did it do?
It went down from 20. It was like a pump and dump. It started at 20, went down to, I think, I don't know, 5 or 3, and then it started bouncing back, 10, 15, 20, and then 25, it halted back into like near the high of the day. And it stayed halted all day, and it opened up near 100 or 200, and then it got up to 500. So
that's the thing with shorting. It's not like you lose it all immediately. Like you're taking a small position. You're in this like groupthink chat room where everyone else is short. Like the fundamentals suggest to go to zero. It's a pump and dump, and you all like ride it together. And sometimes you really get screwed, and you can lose all your money on one trade. So it doesn't matter if you're right 6, 7, 8 times out of 10. It doesn't matter if you're right about the fundamentals. All that matters is the price. And because there's so many shorts right now, and because the market is hitting new highs, the risk is just too great, especially for newbies. Like Jack has been shorting for years. Kyle has been shorting for years, and they were way too early on FFIE. And that one went, what did you start shorting FFIE at?
Like 60, 70, 80 cents.
And mind you, Jack had picked it as a long for his
Yeah.
seven
It
figure
was
profit.
up. I mean, it was up 10x from where it started. It started at
He
like four
bought,
or five
he
cents. I
alerted it
bought it
at
at
6 cents.
6.
And it
I
was a
bought it at six
beautiful buy.
cents.
But then at
Yeah, I
10,
made like 50, 60%.
but this is the problem when you start thinking, okay, long and short, in a perfect world, you ride it on the way up and you ride on the way down. But like what Jack and a lot of people thought, like when it's at 60 cents, like it's up 10 times. This is ridiculous. But he kept going. But to his credit, he actually cut his losses. So you might be like, wow, he lost 500 grand. What if you had just held those, all the way up? And then you would have gotten like a margin call from your broker at like 2 or 3. It went up to $4 a share.
Yeah, I would have lost millions of dollars if I held my position
So
on the stock.
you
So
just don't need that risk, guys. And I'm so proud of Jack for, going long and really helping, with 7 figure profit cycles, students go long and see this stuff ahead of time. It's just a hot market. And, we'll do an update of this if the market changes, if there's more promoters, if some plays are just up so much, like you have to short. But at this current moment right now, summer of 2024, I really think it's good to go long. And I think it's good to learn how to go long, taking a piece of the move. Don't worry if you sell too soon. Just try to lock in the profits. Do you think Jack cares about, ZAPP going on more without him, or OPTT? Like on 2 trades, that's $150,000 roughly, right?
yeah, 150 grand on those two.
Do you think about it when they go further, or are you just like, I'm happy with 150K in 2 days?
No, usually as long as I kind of trade my plan, like I made 50% on a little bit over, I think 50% on both of those trades. And if I make a 50% trade, that's at least like a triple for me. That's like I'm hitting it down the line, it's bouncing. I'm running around the bases all the way to the third. I didn't quite make it to the home plate, but I'm more than happy with a triple. And who cares? 150 grand in a couple of trades is amazing. And if I can do that a few times per month, you know what I mean? That's going to add up to pay for my lifestyle. That's going to be satisfaction for me. That's going to be everything. I'm going to be super happy about making that kind of money. So I don't really care that Zap went to 5. Like you would have had to held through so many dips, right? It went from 2 to 310, back to 230, then to 3, then back to 240, and then to 5, and you know what I mean? So you'd have to hold through like a lot of volatility on the way up. And if I can buy it at 2 a few days before and kind of it just sits 190, 210, 220, 230, and then it goes up to 3 on big volume and I sell it up there, that's a perfect trade for me. And I wouldn't have wanted to trade it any differently.
Yeah, a lot of newbies look at like what the high was and they don't think about like, would you have ever held through the downturns to get that high? And, newbies think that they can do it. Those of us who are veterans know that you can't, because, you don't know how high anything is going to go. You don't know if it's going to reach that peak. And if you're not taking profits along the way, what if ZAPP went up to 310 where you sold it and then never saw the threes again? Then you would feel guilty not selling at 310. You even sold some off in the 240. So I think it's good to sell along the way. The whole point of reason why I'm talking about this right now is because there's so much upside. All you have to do is try to be there and try to witness it. And even if you don't necessarily profit huge, at least start seeing that this stuff is real. And 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road in your, educational journey, it's going to be so much easier. This is just building the foundation, and you have to build the foundation. 99% of traders don't build the foundation properly, and then they give up before going to the next level. And they're just like, oh, trading is hard, I don't get it, because they don't survive their learning curve. So, Jack is best case scenario, I'm best case scenario, but there's more and more people who are becoming best case scenario, making millions, living their dream life. Like Jack just bought a new home, freaking awesome. Everyone congratulate him on his new home. How old are you? Are you 24, 25, 26?
26, just turned 26.
26. I literally have been trading since he was in diapers. When he was crawling around his little home in Bristol, Connecticut, like, was it Bristol?
Bolton.
Why do I always forget?
I don't know, because you think I live where Aaron Hernandez lived.
Yo, whatever works, but he was crawling around in his diaper, okay? And I was trading back then. Like that's how long I've been trading, although somehow he can grow more facial hair than me. It doesn't make
You're
sense.
working on the beard, huh? Are you working on it for me?
No. I'm just
Why
tired.
not?
I'm tired of shaving.
Let it
It's
grow
just,
out for a little bit.
it's just,
Let it grow out.
no, it gets itchy. I don't like it. And this,
Well, it got itchy for me, but once you let it grow out for a while, you stop feeling it, and it feels
dude,
really
you
good.
ruined your beard, ruined AREB. Okay. Like a lot of
It did
people.
ruin that. That stock
And
sucked. I can't believe I didn't go up on a
I
Friday.
sold it. That
Perfect
was the one play that I
sideways
sold
close.
perfectly into the 80s while you were giving a challenge webinar. I made 3 grand. It was supposed to be like an overnight hold, but I was like, you know what, 3 grand, I'm just taking it. I didn't want to stay awake. So I was really happy to sell that in the 80s.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
and I traded it poorly, so it happens.
well, you made
This is a
300,000
beard.
more. Like I made 6 grand last week. I think I made like 7 or 8 grand the week before. So like, again, people want to compare themselves to other traders. You got to do what's right for you. It's not just about how much money you can make. It's how can you use the stock market to better your life and use it to learn more. So maybe in the beginning, you're not going to make anything or you're not going to make much, but you can still use this current hot market to learn more so that by 2025, 2026, 2027, you now have the experience and you remember and you optimize your process and you utilize what you learned in, let's say, the summer of 2024 and you carry it forward. Jack is banking now because of all the time spent 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, all of these previous years studying and not necessarily making 30 grand in a day. So that's what people really have to learn. Like, what do you see people having problems with? How do they become like, you?
That's a difficult question, but I think everybody has something that gets in the way or demotivates them, like we were talking about earlier on this webinar. And I think people just don't stick around long enough, and I think they don't want it bad enough. And that's really what this comes down to, right? So let's talk about me, for example, this year in my trading, right? So I've been shorting or I did short earlier in the year, and I didn't want to short sell. I didn't want to short sell the year. I really wanted to stop short selling after like 2022, 2023. And since I'm demotivated to short sell, my trading with shorting was pretty terrible. Like a lot of ups and downs, a lot of ups and downs. But what I did want was I wanted to grow my Roth. I wanted to take a small amount. I wanted to get rich again. I wanted to get into the NFL again. And that's what's been motivating me, right? So it's for me, it's not about like taking multiple millions of dollars and putting it into stocks and swinging up and down hundreds of thousands. I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy short selling. What I enjoy doing is taking my $10,000 that I started with, or taking the 7,500 I started with however long ago, taking a small account, 30K, and growing that and getting major, like crazy percent returns and watching that grow to the next level, right? Watching that 100K, 200K, 300K, and watch it grow, 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 because that's what's motivating to me. That's what's going to make me work hard and want it. So for you, it's about finding what you want and how bad you want it and using that motivation to become the best trader that you can be. So if that's for your family, you want to buy a boat, or you want to move to a different town, a more expensive town for your family, or you want to travel like Tim, whatever that is, look at Tim, like we were saying earlier, he's still staying motivated as well. It's about finding that motivation and that what's inside of you and taking all that out on the market. And that's going to help you cut losses quickly. That's going to help you study more. That's going to help you stay in the game. So find what that is for you and use it to the best of your ability.
Yeah, find your why. And when you have that why, especially when it's something big that's in the future and it's not just like, oh, I can get this tomorrow. When you dream big, as I always say, you're working towards that big goal. Studies have actually shown that having a big goal increases your daily performance 15 to 25%, because you're like, I have to do this, 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 this. There's so much that you have to do to achieve that big goal. And that helps you like stay motivated. It helps you stay on track and you learn throughout your journey. So really dream as big as you can. And the cool thing is, like, this is the most fascinating time in human history where we all have the ability. I mean, we're talking across the world right now in real time. You guys are watching it all over the world. we all have the ability to learn like never before and then apply those lessons in real time like never before. Like Jack was legit doing a chat with his students about OPTT just hours before it really started spiking. I oftentimes give webinars, like Jack now gives challenge webinars. I remember I was in a play, we're trading from the airport, and I bought it. It got halted and I locked in 45% during Jack's webinar. And Jack was like narrating it and he was like, there it goes. Like, this is an amazing time to learn. And this wasn't possible a few years ago. So you really should capitalize on it. I love, talking with Jack. I love talking with all the millionaire students and seeing what really works for them and seeing how they adapt. Like Jack has had his ups and downs. It's not just all, gravy. It's not just like he's always making, $30,000 a day. Right now he's doing well. The market is hot. I also posted a graphic. I don't know if you saw this, Jack, at the end of June, saying that the first 2 weeks of July, going back to 1928, nearly 100 years ago, this is the best 2-week period of the year. How crazy is that?
Yeah, it's actually something I had no idea. And all I was familiar with was October being like October and September being terrible. But I didn't know that July was the best month of the year. Like that's insane to me.
Because
And
you were a short
it's
seller.
funny how things
You weren't looking for it. So as a short
I
seller,
wasn't looking for the positive.
you're
I wasn't in the
looking for
click.
negativity, dilution tracker, fundamentals, groupthink, Discord chat rooms, and we talk like this. I don't know why, but we do. And it's like you can be as optimistic or pessimistic as possible. If you make short selling work for you, God bless. Just be careful, because the more money you make, you can blow up all in a day. Take advantage of seasonality, take advantage of the world. That's what this is. I got to go. We have some very cool things planned. I have like a bunch of students. Jack's coming. We got 2 new millionaire students coming here in Italy in the next few days. So I'm planning a little surprises for you guys. So I'm actually working on a surprise right now. But every single one of you, thank Jack for his time. Thank him for, paying it forward. He doesn't have to do this. He loves teaching. He gave like a webinar last night. He was like fading at the end. And it was funny because he didn't even say that he was ending the webinar, but people could tell he was fading, and everyone was like, thank you, Jack. And he's like, did I say I'm ending the webinar? I don't even know. And, one of the students was like, that's an implied ending. But literally, we're like working ourselves like till we can pass out, because we want this to work for you guys. You now have more tools, you have more newsletters, you have more videos, you have more opportunities to learn, to really speed up your learning curve than ever before. So you have no excuse. You just have to get motivated, as Jack said. And Jack's life is motivation. My life, my views are motivation. And this really can happen to you. It doesn't matter where you're from or how much or how little you have. You can be a valet, you could be a janitor, you can be homeless. Like, there's so much upside if you study and then you apply those lessons. Final thought. We got 30 seconds. What's one tip that you want people to learn from?
One tip I want people to learn from is to get into the 7-figure cycle. It's a 90-day money back guarantee. Get in there and watch my video lessons. Look at the trades. Study everything that you can. That is my tip. And if it doesn't work for you, I completely understand. But at least get in and try. It's up 800% right now in a couple months. And I don't see why it's not worth giving a try. I'm super passionate about it. It's been crushing, so highly recommend it.
Thank you. And I'll post the link just below. And, he says, like, I don't know if it's going to work for you. Like, it will. It's all education. You cannot go backwards in terms of your education.
True.
Too many people always think, like, I'm not making money right away. It's not working. You're getting educated. And if you trade small or you paper trade in the beginning, you get educated with very little market tuition. But all it is being focused on year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. And you'll be shocked at how fast you can learn. And you'll be shocked at what you can achieve later on. So thank you, Jack. I'll see you in Italy. Yeah. Ciao. Safe travels. Everyone leave a comment below. Thank Jack. I got to go. Have a good day.
Ciao, ciao. See ya.